Now at 10.
Day 10 demonstrators continue their march in San Antonio.
No matter who you are, you're treated fairly.
The surprise visit from the Castro brothers. Their message tonight.
As the number of coronavirus cases increases across our region, tonight researchers are studying the impact of people not showing symptoms.
Hot is getting hotter, but there's a cool front in the forecast.
These are 2 of 23 Shar-Pei mixes brought to an animal shelter in New Braunfels in a single day. What exactly happened and how you can help.
The Spurs still have a chance to keep that long playoff streak alive, but they'll have to do it without a key piece to the puzzle.
Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now. San Antonio joins other cities across the nation in lighting buildings with gold and crimson tonight in honor of George Floyd. You are looking live at downtown at the Frost Tower, and behind that, the Tower of Life building. From Chopper 5 flying over downtown San Antonio. Several buildings are illuminated, including the Tower of the Americas and the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The colors were chosen because they are the school colors of Yates High School in Houston, where Floyd graduated. Good evening, I'm Deborah Knapp. First at 10. Demonstrators joined by Julian and Joaquin Castro in downtown San Antonio as they marched for change for the 10th straight day. Eyewitness News' Henry Ramos was on the ground as protesters continued their fight for justice.
All you can hear are the footsteps. In Day 10, hundreds of protesters at one point didn't say a word. Instead, they let their signs speak. In the blistering heat, they marched from Blue Star along Alamo Street up to La Villita. There, they packed into the Arneson River Theater. The day full of speakers from all walks of life, including a former presidential candidate and his brother, a current U.S. congressman. San Antonio natives and political bros Julian and Joaquin Castro addressed the crowd. They told me the pressure needs to be placed on all elected officials in every level.
So that what happened to George Floyd never happens again. We need to end over-reliance on policing. We need to demilitarize our police. We need to hold our police accountable when they commit misconduct.
Julian tweeting late tonight, quote, "Teachers shouldn't be forced to buy their own supplies while our police departments purchase combat vehicles," end quote. I asked him about the outcries on defunding police.
There's no reason the police budget should just keep growing and growing and growing, even though right now crime is nowhere near what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So they can make sensible cuts to policing and invest in better education, better healthcare opportunities, better housing opportunities.
Henry joins us live right now from downtown. Henry, did the police have anything to say about these efforts at defunding?
Well, Deborah, we reached out to the San Antonio Police Officers Association. The president releasing a statement just before this newscast. Let me read it to you. Quote, "Our budget is already paper thin. Asking to remove monies from our police budget means forfeiting some form of police action, which in any circumstance is bad public policy," end quote. We're live downtown tonight. Henry Ramos, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
Henry, thank you. Thousands flowed through Houston's Fountain of Praise Church for a public viewing of Texas native George Floyd, one day before he is laid to rest. Among them, civil rights attorney Ben Crump and the families of Pamela Turner, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, and Botham Jean.
Every time another event, another killing happens, it's trauma. I know for Ahmaud it was really hard because they were similar in age. And then Breonna right after, and then George right after. And that whole, 2-month period was very traumatizing, very hard for myself and my family.
Governor Greg Abbott visited the Floyd family after attending today's memorial. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden was also there. Tomorrow, George Floyd will be laid to rest in a private service. His family and friends say their goodbyes, along with Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner and Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and other community members. Reverend Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. A Minneapolis judge sets bond at more than $1 million for Derek Chauvin. The former officer made his first court appearance today since being arrested in the death of George Floyd. Chauvin is facing second-degree murder and manslaughter charges. The majority of Minneapolis City Council is promising to dismantle the city's police department and replace it with a new system of public safety.
Our commitment is to end our city's toxic relationship with the Minneapolis Police Department.
Minneapolis City Council President Lisa Bender is leading the charge to defund or eliminate and replace the city's police department after Floyd's death. But before that can happen, the city needs to have a plan for a new system in place, something they admittedly don't have yet. The mayor already ruled out defunding the department, saying he considers police reforms to be a better option. New numbers tonight show coronavirus cases are trending up in Bexar County. Metro Health reported 22 new cases today, bringing the total to more than 3,000. There is some good news. We didn't have any new deaths today in the area. There have been more than 2,000 recoveries in the county. As the number of coronavirus cases continues to rise across Bexar County, a team of researchers is studying the impact of asymptomatic carriers and the impact these carriers have on spreading the virus. Eyewitness News reporter Vanessa Croy explains.
Research shows that asymptomatic carriers of the coronavirus can spread the disease. Dr. John Gelfond is part of a team of researchers studying the impact of carriers who don't have any signs of the virus.
These people are infected and without symptoms, and they can still spread the disease. And our concern is that they may spread this disease to others who then become seriously ill.
It's a joint effort. The study launched a few weeks ago, and UT Health medical students are knocking on doors and testing people.
We chose 50 neighborhoods, and we wanted to represent all city council districts so that we can get a fair and unbiased determination about the rate of people who are infected and capable of spreading the disease who may not know it.
Gelfond said the results will help to understand if there's a high rate of residents without symptoms that are currently testing positive for COVID-19 infections and also helping assess the risk of transmission locally. The city can then prepare in the case of another surge in positive cases.
We're really trying to get that unbiased representation to figure out that unknown right now is how many people in our community are these asymptomatic people, and so that by knowing this, we can create better protections for the people who are most vulnerable.
Vanessa joins us live from UT Health. Vanessa, when do they expect to release the results of the study?
Well, Deb, they hope to have those results by the end of the month. Now, they randomly tested over 500 people across the county, and right now they're waiting on the results of those tests before they can start analyzing the data. Reporting live tonight, Vanessa Croy, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Vanessa, thank you. We are learning more about the family found dead inside a Stone Oak home. The medical examiner's office says the victims have been identified as 38-year-old Staff Sergeant Jared Harless and his wife, Cheryl. Authorities say the two, along with their 4 young children, were found in the garage on Thursday. We're told Harless was from Renton, Washington. He was a cyberspace intelligence analyst and had one deployment in Iraq in 2011. All new tonight, nearly 24 dogs end up at the New Braunfels Humane Society. Now they need your help. Eyewitness News reporter Holly Stouffer explains what led up to the overload of pets.
This is pretty much as bad as it gets.
Sarah Hammond is the executive director of the Humane Society of New Braunfels. She says Comal County deputies went out for a welfare check last week, and 23 dogs ended up in their care.
The sheriff's department went to check on him and sadly found the resident deceased.
Taking in each of the Shar-Pei mixes put them at capacity.
That's usually about the number of large dogs we get per week.
7 dogs, including 2 puppies, are happy, healthy, and ready for a home. Hammond says 4 dogs were euthanized this morning. They were either too sick or aggressive to be adopted. The remaining 12 dogs have issues that require more attention.
They're showing no friendly behavior. They're cowering in the corner.
Hammond says if a rescue doesn't pick them up by Wednesday, they'll have to be put down.
We have no space.
And without more kennels, they can't give these animals a second chance.
We're in real trouble here.
She's asking people to adopt or foster any dog they can, so they can buy more time for their latest residents to find their forever home.
Holly joins us live. Holly, along with adopting or fostering, what else can people do?
Deborah Hammond says that issues like this can be prevented as long as people speak up. She says this man didn't end up with all these animals overnight. There had to have been a friend, family member, or neighbor who knew something, and they should have reached out to animal control sooner before it got to this point. Now, if you'd like to help out the shelter, we've got all the details posted on our website. Reporting live tonight, Holly Stouffer, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Holly. Well, several Spurs players went back to the practice facility today for the first time since mid-March. The team is getting ready for the NBA restart. But will they go chasing another championship shorthanded? Sports Director Joe Reinagle is here. And Joe, big loss for the Silver and Black.
Yeah, it really is, Deborah. The Spurs announced today that LaMarcus Aldridge is done for the season. Now, Aldridge actually had surgery in late April, we understand. They did it to take care of some shoulder injuries. Now, injury actually occurred back in February. He tried to make a comeback, and he did pretty well. In fact, he came back, scored 24 points against the Dallas Mavericks on March 10th. That was one day before the NBA stopped the season. They did that on March 11th. And we had the opportunity to speak with Spurs general manager Brian Wright today, and he tells us that they really thought the layoff for COVID, well, that Aldridge would have had enough time to be a go.
We tried to, take advantage of the hiatus period with rehab and him working to get back. And unfortunately, it just didn't progress the way that we all had hoped. And the best pathway from there was the surgical procedure. So we decided to move forward with that and get him ready for next season.
And Wright also tells us the 8 games that the Spurs play in the so-called regular season will give the team a chance to see those players in action to give them a good look at what could certainly be the future. Now, the good news, Deborah, with Aldridge is he is expected to be ready to go next season, whenever that may be.
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, keeping the conversation going, what one group of Texans is doing to make sure the push for change doesn't stop long after protests and the funeral of George Floyd.
Hot will be getting hotter. In fact, a heat advisory already in effect for Tuesday. But I'm tracking the not as hot cool front coming up.